Alrighty, what you just heard uses the musical alphabet. It actually uses a couple different sets of notes. So all the notes I played were on the white keys down here, not the black keys, right? Just the white keys down here. And all the notes I played are a letter you're probably familiar with. So we started with, there's A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then it starts over again, but we'll talk more about that later. The first thing I played actually started on C. Here, we'll even try to line it up a little bit. There we go. So we have a C over here, and it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Right? Now, that's the C major scale. It's not that hard to play, and it's something that you probably already know. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right? That do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do thing. Now, that starts on C. It doesn't start on A. If we start on A, it actually makes a totally different sound. Right? A is down here, and we get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now that sounds totally different. It sounds a lot more sad, right? And that whole scale is a little bit more sad. We call it a minor scale. It's the A minor scale versus the C major scale. And both of those use just the white keys in different places. So let's talk about how to know where these notes are on the piano so that you can do this at home. C is always going to be right next to this group of two, right? It's always going to be on the left of that group of two. So if I find this group of two black keys, it's always going to be this first one here. So is there another set of two black keys on the piano? Absolutely. There's a whole bunch of them. There's some here, there's some here, there's some here, there's some here, and there's some even off screen, right? Alright. So in each one of those groups of two, there's a C. And they're all in the same spot, basically. So we have this group of two, and the C is right here. Just like it is on these two, right here. On these two, right here. On these two, right here. And on the other two down here, on the other side, that's off the screen. And that's always where C is. So C, C, C. There's a game that I kind of like to play where we try to figure out where all the C's are and then make a song out of them. But it almost always sounds something like this. And everyone just sort of plays around with it for a little while, and that's C. Alright. From there, we just count up and down the alphabet, and it gets pretty easy. We can also use some other mile markers, but from C, right next to that is just D. And then after that, E. After that, F. After that, G. After that, A. So we're back to A, right? We circled around. B. And finally, C again. So we could just count up. We can also count down. C, and then backwards would be B, A, and then we go back down to G, and then F, E, D, and C. Nice and easy. Another couple ways to do this is we can actually look at the group of three as well. And the very left one on the group of three is F. So we got C on the left here, and we have F on the left here. Not so bad. We can also look at the middle notes if we want to. So like the middle notes of the group of two, this is a D. Or we could look at the middle group in the group of three right here. And that's only because A and G are right here. That's really good to know, because if we know where A and G are, we know where the alphabet turns back around. If we know that, then we know that from here to here is one alphabet, right? Nice and easy. And then we restart from here. Not so bad. So that's knowing it by the middle notes. We can also know it by the left notes, C and F. There's some people, not that many that I know, but there's some people that memorize it by the note on the right. So we have a group of 2 here, a group of 2 here, and we could go with this note here, and that's an E. Now that's really handy if you play guitar or bass or something, because this is one that you can tune your strings with. So that's really, really cool. We can also use the group of 3 over here. And from there we have the note on the right is B. So it doesn't really matter which method you use to memorize, so long as it works and it's correct, because that way you can know the name of what you're playing and then you can play it later. So let's say I play something that I made up, and just now, let's say, alright, that's not so bad. It has kind of a lot of notes in it, but let's name them. It starts with C, alright, C, C, D, E, C, G. Okay. So if I want to play that again later, it's pretty easy to remember. And now I can play it up here. Or down here. Or. And now it's really easy to play all over the place and I can practice it. I can also move it to another weird spot. So maybe if instead of starting it on C, I play the exact same thing, but I start on G. That sounds pretty much the same. It's just still really happy. Alright. We could also play that over at A instead. Ooh, that sounds a little sadder. Or maybe scary. Alrighty. So that's just how to figure out where the musical alphabet is on the piano. From there, it's kind of nice to try to make things that we like, things that sound good and things that feel good. At first, it might be kind of hard to do that, and it doesn't have to be something that you think is your favorite kind of music. It just has to not sound bad, right? Something that feels like it could be maybe a song, right? So something maybe in time or something very simple, maybe 1 or 2 notes, like that's 3 notes. All right, maybe we can do a different rhythm. All right, or right? And now you can sort of see the beats in my hand, right? Nice and easy. And on my left hand, I can actually take something that uses maybe some of those notes. So I won't play all 3 of them, because then it's going to sound really bad. Ugh, that's gross, right? That just doesn't sound very good, right? So let's take out one of them. Let's make sure there's no notes that are too close together. So maybe we'll just do these 2, right? That's not so bad. That's pretty good. We could maybe start with the same note that I'm starting with, and then move down to one of the other notes that I moved to, like... Ooh, that sounds pretty good. So all I'm using there is just 2 notes on this hand that are separated by 1 white note. And on this hand, I'm just playing 1 note at a time. Nice and easy. We can do that in any other spot too. Maybe, so that's what it can sort of sound like when I just make up something that's roughly in time, it has some beat to it, I'm using mostly one idea, and then I just sort of start messing around with it once it feels good, right? That's been sort of a brief look at all of the notes on the piano that have the white keys, all the natural notes. And then the musical alphabet, right? We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then A again, right? It restarts every time. We found some spots on the piano to memorize it, so we know that C is next to these 2 black notes. We know that F is next to these 3 black notes. And we also looked at a couple ways to be able to play music by ourselves that sounds good and feels good just using 2 notes on this hand and 1 note on this hand. Alrighty. Good luck. And, yeah. Good luck.